Ready? Good morning. I'm Doug Sheff, and I'm honored to introduce you to Lois and Amos Wolobah, Harris Wolobah's parents, and some of the finest people we have ever represented. Isn't that right, Rich? They are decent, hardworking, modest, humble people. These are parents who have dedicated their entire lives to their children. I'm also pleased to introduce renowned Worcester attorney Richard Rafferty, my partner, Kathy Jo Cook, and our legal team, all proud to represent the Wolobahs. Today we have filed a wrongful death lawsuit on behalf of this wonderful family for the loss of their beloved son, Harris. Harris was a great kid. Growing up, he gave so much love and received love from all who knew him. He worked hard in school and always tried to care for others and to do the right thing. He was an athlete in phenomenal shape. He worked out and played basketball 7 days a week. In fact, his dream was someday to join the NBA, and he wanted to do it all for his family. Harris was a truly remarkable and inspiring child, but as you will see, this case is about every child exposed to social media today. Harris died after eating a chip containing Carolina Reaper pepper, which contains a substance called capsaicin. This pepper is said to be several hundred times as strong as jalapeno pepper or hot wasabi. Not several times as strong, several hundred times as strong. It's actually used in bear spray to ward off, to incapacitate bears. Dangerous. In our view, the defendants created a perfect storm of danger for all of our children by combining three elements which we allege caused Harris's tragic death. First, Paqui, a company owned by Hershey, which ironically holds itself out to be child-friendly, made and marketed a chip containing capsaicin so powerful, so dangerous, that the National Capital Poison Center in Washington, D.C. had to issue a warning about it to the public. Second, they urged people to post videos of themselves eating the poisonous chip on TikTok and other social media platforms, which subjected our children to being brainwashed into thinking that eating the chip was somehow cool. Children were enticed by promises of acquiring instant fame, by going viral, or by making it to what they called their wall of infamy. And they tempted them with prizes. Finally, Walgreens sold the poisonous chip to children. The defendants charged about $10 for each chip. $10 for the chip that killed Harris. $10 for his life. Think about all the other kids they put at risk. What did the defendants know about that risk at the time of Harris's death? Well, just look at the box from 2023. Outside, we see a snake with venomous fangs wrapped around a bloody skull. The box itself is shaped like a coffin. Imagine that, shaped like a coffin. Inside, the chip is described as vicious and intended to cause pain. Quote, a swift strike to the mouth, followed by a, quote, abdomen attack, and finally something called a, quote, serpent spiral, whatever that is. An insert reads, how long can you last before you spiral out? The other side of the box is even worse. It actually depicts the Grim Reaper, complete with a sickle, who asks, any last words? It's just unbelievable. Isn't it clear that these defendants knew full well that this chip was unreasonably dangerous? And isn't this an obvious marketing campaign designed to attract kids to that very danger? The promotion was clever, but deadly. Furthermore, Hershey cannot hide behind Paqui, and Paqui cannot hide behind TikTok or any other social media platform. One look online, where defendants urged posts, made it clear that children were consuming this chip, that they were getting sick. Tough kid melts his face off doing Paqui one chip. Big mistake, 7-year-olds take on Paqui. That they were being hospitalized, one chip is sending kids to the hospital. This is what was online for a long time. Just look at some of the headlines from credible news outlets. 3 students were hospitalized after one-chip challenge in Texas. Next, one-chip challenge made 13 students in Kentucky sick. Another, several middle school students were treated for illness after one-chip challenge in Minnesota. Next, an ambulance had to be called for middle schoolers after the one-chip challenge. Another, Long Island school officials had to warn parents of the one-chip challenge. Yet again, one-chip challenge made California students ill. Next, one-chip challenge led Georgia middle school to call poison control. I don't think I have to read any more, because all throughout the country, kids were being poisoned by these chips. And these reports were from previous challenges. They were out there from previous years. How could they not have known? But they continued in their marketing efforts even after all this. And it wasn't just children who suffered. Hershey and Paquis had to see countless reports of adults getting sick and hospitalized as well. This product should never have been available to adults, let alone children. It should never have been put on the shelves. And what did they do? They kept pushing it and pushing it until poor Harris died. Our Massachusetts community is outraged at the loss of Harris, and Worcester's own father, Jonathan, reflects our grief as he describes Harris and his family.
My name is Father Jonathan Slavinskas. I'm the pastor at Alameda Providence Parish. I would see them in the gym there. And what was their name? They were hard-working people. They don't stop working. They overnight jobs, this and that. And they put everything on the line. They went through all the exhaustion to bring him to where he wanted to go because they loved him. You know, the mom and dad who loved their son. And that was taken away. That was taken away. And I had to show up to the house that afternoon. And the smile of Lois that I've come to know was not. And there's no worse sound in the world than to have to hear the wailing of a mother who just lost her son. It is the worst sound anyone has to listen to. And the great question of why? How did this happen? Making the pain of a father who's just walking around shocked. And she sent me a picture of the grave of her son. No mother should have had to do that. Yeah. You know, to see this young boy's face sitting upon a grave. You know, when you see a life that was lost, and for what? You know? So, somebody can make money someplace. And it's just, it's a sadness. It is a sadness, you know, and so, again, there's those happy moments, you know, I can recall looking at the smile of Lois and Amos. And there was a smile in the midst of the pain. Following his death, we did a training in the gym. Because the kids were like, what do we do? We want to help out the family. And so we said, okay, let's set up a training and have these on that, you know. And so all the kids, I was blown away. They came together. The gym was packed. We had 70 kids training at one time in this church gym there. As a pastor of the city community, I tried to protect kids from gun violence. I tried to protect kids from drugs. Never would I have thought I'd have to protect a kid from shit.
This case is a national, if not an international concern. These kids did nothing wrong. They did what kids do. That's why we are issuing a call to action. Anyone from anywhere who has consumed the Paquis Hershey chip is welcome to contact us in order to share their experience to learn more about their rights and how we can all work together to protect our kids. This is Harris Wolobah's legacy, his gift, in the name of child safety everywhere. And although he can't be here to see justice done, Lois and Amos are here to do just that. And I know Rich is here to do just that. And I know Kathy's here to do just that. And we are all here to do just that. The Wolobahs want to send a message, not just to Pat Key and to Hershey, but to all who would endanger our children. Remember, the Grim Reaper asked, any last words? Well, we intend to give those last words to Harris, to Lois, to Amos, to the Wolobah family, as well as to our entire community. And these words will be words of justice. Before I take any questions, I want to be very clear. Please address all of those questions to me. Kindly refrain from directing any questions at any time to any member of the Wolobah family, here or elsewhere. The family does not welcome direct contact, so please respect their wishes. It's in that way that we can keep the public informed throughout without burdening this grieving family. It's in that spirit that we have prepared press packages for you, each of you, including all of the images and the video shown today for easy access and download. And now I will take any questions.
Who are the named defendants in this complaint?
There's Pat Key, Hershey, Walgreens, and there is a representative, and Amplify, and there is an individual who worked for Walgreens. Yes?
Of course, we'd like to hear from the family, but what have the last several months been like for them, and how did they come to this decision to file this lawsuit?
They struggle with this horrible situation every hour of every day of their lives. They lived their lives for their kids and Harris. They believe that by filing this lawsuit, they're going to ensure that this doesn't happen to other kids and other families. That was their primary impetus.
Have there been other documented cases, beyond the injuries, but any other cases where kids have died because of this?
We're not certain of that, and discovery process, we will find out more.
The company released a statement saying that this was meant to be marketed to adults and there were labels on it, and I wondered if you have any comments to that.
First of all, Harris was handed a piece of chip by some other kid. That's what kids do. They don't share the box, and he never likely even saw it. Secondly, it seems to us that they were marketing to children. The challenges, the cartoons, the enticements, everything that would attract kids. It seems disingenuous to even say that. This was like instant Halloween for kids. They encouraged kids, and they succeeded. And they watched as thousands of kids were eating the chip, and they watched as hundreds had to receive medical treatment. So some fine print on the back of the box, that's not going to excuse any defendant in this case. Next.
Can we hear from the Wolobahs? Maybe they can talk about Harris a bit?
Maybe sometime in the future, but not today. As you can see, this is a very emotionally trying situation for them. And I thank you. Yes.
What are you seeking in the lawsuit?
Justice.
Is there a dollar figure on the justice?
That's not something we care to discuss right now.
So it appeared that the Harris's autopsy had mentioned him having an enlarged heart, and that has been discussed as a possible complicating factor in determining responsibility. How do you kind of see that sort of interpretation of culpability given his discovered condition?
It has no effect on culpability. They're completely culpable. Harris apparently had a very common condition that millions of people have without any effect on their lives whatsoever. Had it not been for the chip, he would have had a normal, healthy life with a normal life expectancy.
But did the condition play a role in the complications that ensued?
I'll just say it again. The chip is what killed him. And in fact, his condition was so mild that no one even knew. It was imperceptible. It was undetectable. Parents didn't know it. Harris didn't know it. The coaches didn't know it while he ran up and down the court with great endurance every single day of the week. The physicals he passed, it was so mild it was undetectable. So it might be that it did not have impact.
Has
Next.
a lawsuit actually been filed here?
A lawsuit has been filed.
And so is this like, you're hoping for class action, or I guess I'm.
No, this
my
isn't,
ignorance.
it's okay. There's no bad questions, it's just questions. And it's a good one. This is an individual case. We don't know what could develop because, again, we haven't started the discovery process. We need to get answers, and the answers have to come from the defendants. Okay, thank you all so very much. Thank you.
I will have flash drives that contain the complaint and the images you saw here today, as well as the video. See me right around the corner as you're exiting. I'll be happy to provide those to you.
We'll file out the same way it came in. Same one.